it's a huge privilege. It's a great excitement, and it sort of feels that a bit of me belongs to Wales. You know, I moved here 16 years ago, and this is like, and gradually, you know, you settle into the village, you get to know people, you get to absorb the culture and to understand a little bit more about it. And this is like saying, you're almost there, Lucy, you're almost there. I was the army brat who travelled around the world with my mum and my dad. And my mum died when I was 6. And then it was a very broken and strange childhood, but rather a magical childhood too, until I was kicked out of the house at 16, joined the army at 17, failed miserably in the army, failed at my first marriage. You know, there's lots of failure in my life. It's a life of failure, and a lot of adventure on the way. And here I am now, 72, living in a little village in Wales, wondering what my next adventure is. My book was inspired really by the fact that as a child, I had no voice. I think a lot of children have no voice. But because my family was split up, because my mum had died, my 2 brothers were in the services, I was lodged with relatives and then with a stepmother who really struggled with me for many reasons. I never had a voice. And there was always this wonderful, mad, secret world, vivid world inside my head, which I never got to share with anybody. And I think that writing is all about saying to other people, this is my world and it's not that different from yours. It looks very different, but we have the same emotions, the same needs and feelings and desires. It's just a story, really, a celebration of this is why we're here. This is the internal world of a child discovering why she's here and what it's all about. In assembly, we said special prayers to keep the waters down. And the headmistress said us new girls couldn't know it, but the floods were terrible. And every time the Avon flooded, there was more than just water, there was dirt and mud and filth. And the poor nuns had to clear it all up. And it could take weeks and the smell lingered for months. When we went for our milk in the yard, we could see all along the windows, candles lit and statues facing out. Not being Catholic, Lisa couldn't understand, so I explained that the nuns had turned the statues around to face out over the river and had lit the candles so the saints would keep the water down. They were keeping watch and would keep us safe. It was gym the next period, but with my broken thumb I was excused, and Lisa had sprained her ankle last week, so we hung around the milk crates for a bit. Then we went to look at the water, but it had hardly started creeping up the netball courts. I thought that if the water lapped right up to the school, it might also creep up over the railway track, somewhere between Bath and Chippenham, and Mary and me wouldn't be able to go home. We'd have to spend the night in a village hall with bacon sandwiches and itchy army blankets, which would be fun. And then I had the idea. The saints were keeping the floods down, were they? Maybe we could fix that.